Welcome to Poppy Talk episode 4. This is very exciting. My name is Leesa.
I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Julie.
Welcome, Julie. Julie is our hot tea today. So a little bit about what we're doing with Poppy Talk. This is something very new to us. So we are, again, very new to the podcast world. But the idea of this is to really open ourselves up to you guys, and in turn hoping that you guys open yourselves back up to us. We want to open the conversation. We want to talk about herbs. We want to talk about things that are hot, things that are not hot. There's like a plethora of things to talk about. So, but to start it out, we're interviewing everyone that works here, and we're just kind of going down the line. And that way, like when you come in, you kind of know a little bit more about who we are. What are we doing next? What do I already forget?
I'm going to start with our disclaimer.
Yes, see?
As always, nothing we discuss today is intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Always a reminder to consult with a qualified healthcare professional, whether that's a doctor, specialist, or clinical herbalist, before starting any new protocol.
Yeah, that safety is always, I think
Number
that's
one.
like a huge important thing. So Julie is our hot tea today, and our tea is the pregnancy tea, because
Baby's kicking.
baby's coming.
Yay.
She knows. She's here.
When's your due date?
The 24th.
Oh my
Or any day.
gosh.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
any
she
day
could come
between now
anytime.
and then or after.
So yeah, we've got the pregnancy tea, which is raspberry nettle, linden, peppermint, ginger, and rose hips. Julie, is this your favorite tea right now?
I love this one.
Yeah.
Even before I was pregnant, I was always really drawn to those really mineral-rich, nourishing, herbs, nettle, and alfalfa and oat straw, raspberry leaf. It just feels so good in my body, and so it makes sense that I've continued throughout the prepregnancy, just drinking.
Now, Jen and I are not pregnant, but we can drink it.
Still delicious.
That's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it is good. So
delicious.
well, Julie, let's start off with our questions. How did your herbal journey start? And how did you get to Colorado, too? Because I know you're not from here. Correct?
Yeah, no, not from here. My herbal journey, I would say, started in Oregon. There was a few different things happening at that time in my life. So I was just moved to a farm with my partner. We just moved in together. And, farming, you're out in the sticks. There was a farmhouse, and there was a little bookshelf that had, local books on local ecology, books on, farming practices, and there was some herbalism books in there. So I picked those up. I found there was I don't know what to call it, like a reader so we were in Southern Oregon, so it was from the Northern California Women's Herbal Symposium, and it was all the class notes from a year's conference. So if you've ever been to a conference, it's there's classes on herbs for pets and aromatherapy for anxiety and a whole class on, nettles, and it's just an array of different topics. And so I was just flipping through the notes and being oh, this is so cool. There's so much information here. So I had kind of discovered that, and that had piqued my interest. My partner was also struggling with chronic back pain.
Oh.
So it's also that feeling of we all know that feeling of someone we love is in pain, and you just want to do something to help them. And chronic pain is its own beast, and it's I wanted to do something. So I was kind of using these books, and then of course we're on the farm, so there's plants abundantly everywhere. It was a permaculture farm, so there's comfrey growing in the orchard, all the weeds, all the dandelion and the chickweed and the yellow dock. They had little keyhole beds, pollinator beds around the farm. So I remember one day the farmer being like, "That's valerian. Like, you can dig that up if you want to and use it." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I was like I was like making medicine from what we had, kind of using these books to try and like heal this person that I loved so much. And it was like, that was really the start of it for me. And I mean, my degree is in ecology. Like, I don't have a strong foundation of like anatomy and physiology. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just felt like I could do something. It was something I could do. I was like making infused oils and making tinctures and like, here, take this, try this. Is this helping?
Your guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yes,
So your
absolutely.
first
It was
your
just
first
to have a
your
catalyst
first
in that
client.
way.
100%. Yeah. And looking back, I'm like, oh, I could see those like newbie mistakes that I made of making, I think I made like gallons of tincture, not knowing that like you really don't need that much tincture. But yeah, that was very much like the beginning. And then I would get more books and I would, I went to the herbal symposium one year and, just kind of it evolved from there as that feeling of like being drawn into this world. It just very much like grabbed me and I just felt like I really wanted to follow that path.
Oh, I love that.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always something.
There's
just
something,
a little thread that pulls you through. Yeah,
It's like a world, and then like it's just a bigger, like the world keeps getting bigger, and I think we're all learning something new every day. I am. I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
You guys, the people that come in, yeah.
So from there, like what brought you to Colorado and Golden Poppy? What is that?
So after that, I moved to Vermont, again, following that path of my curiosity in herbalism.
Oregon to Vermont.
Oregon to Vermont.
Wow. Total coast.
Yeah, just needed to mix it up. So we moved there, found a really wonderful mentor. She owned an herb farm, worked with her a lot, just kind of kept continuing to like self-teach and garden and things like that. And then we got to the point, my partner and I got married and we knew that we wanted to find our forever home. And we love Vermont, but we just knew that that wasn't the place. And so he was born and raised in Colorado. And so we had many discussions of where we might want to land. And we made a list one day of our top 5. And Colorado was number 1 for both of us. And we're like, well,
There we go.
we're done with that discussion. We can move on to the next step.
Easy
Awesome.
decision. Yeah.
So yeah, that led us here, and that feeling of like, okay, we're here. We want to like create community. We want to like really ground and root here. This is the place.
Cool.
Did you go, now when you moved here, did you do your schooling here?
I did, and I had kind of been holding off, knowing that I wanted to go to school in the place where I was going to be, and I really wanted to learn the plants. I mean,
It's super smart to.
I work with ginger, which does not grow here, but I also knew, with my background in ecology and natural history, I really wanted to get to know the plants here. So I felt like studying in the place that I was planning to be was important.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just felt like Kismet. I was taking an online herbal class, and the teacher had just mentioned, oh yeah, there's a school in Colorado. And I was like, oh, we're moving to Colorado. And that is like how I found my way to CSEH.
Oh, okay. Colorado School of Herbalism. Herbal Studies. Yeah. And is that in?
That's in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Yeah, founded by Paul Bergner, and it's had many iterations. He's still very involved in the school, but no longer the owner.
Awesome.
Cool. And then what did it look like for you coming here? Like, how did you end up here?
Here at Golden Poppy.
Physical here.
Yeah. So let's see. We moved to Fort Collins. I was commuting to herb school, and just thinking about like, how am I going to make this work? I want to be an herbalist. I felt very rooted in the idea of community herbalism. So, I mean, Golden Poppy was like a natural. I've been coming here and buying herbs and, asking questions for a few years as I was doing my schooling. And then was just like, oh, maybe I'll work there someday.
Cool.
Yeah. And again, sometimes the doors just open.
Yeah. I feel like I remember Sheila like bringing you up because you went to school with Sheila.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Because I remember her mentioning someone, and I remember like just loving your last name and being like, yeah. Like,
yeah, we did a field. We did a field botany course together.
Cool.
Sheila and I, and she was like, "Oh, I work in Fort Collins, but she didn't live here." And we talked about that whole thing. Yeah, I forgot that was the connector.
Yeah.
Well, you are so valuable here.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're an amazing herbalist.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
100%
And
true.
we'd love to hear about like your work with FAM, or the acronym. Do you say FAM or FAM? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I got that right.
What is
If you want to like talk about that at all, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I can get real fired up on FAM. You can cool me down if I need to.
We can always do a separate episode on FAM.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So FAM stands for Fertility Awareness Method. And so it really, at its core, it's cycle tracking. It's tracking different signs of your menstrual cycle to know when, just where you're at in your cycle. So there's a lot of different types of cycle tracking. I think a lot of people are familiar with the book Taking Charge of Your Fertility, which kind of has one. Or people have heard of the rhythm method, which don't get me started on the rhythm method. It's different, but there's some similarities.
Can I ask what the rhythm method is?
The
Is there a
rhythm
short
method
description?
is really about counting days.
Yeah.
This kind of standard cycle of 28 days with ovulation on day 14, which, if you can believe it, bodies are varied and women are varied, and it is 28 days is actually not the most common cycle length. I think it's 29 days is the most common cycle length. So if you're using, say, the rhythm method for birth control, and you're assuming that day 14 is when you ovulate, not everyone ovulates on day 14.
Yeah.
So,
There's no way. Yeah, our bodies
if you're
are bad.
trying to get pregnant or trying to avoid pregnancy, like, that's not a great method.
Yeah.
So what I've been trained in is we're looking at three main signs. We're looking at basal body temperature, which is like your waking temperature first thing in the morning before you get out of bed.
Before you even like sit up.
Before
right?
you sit up, before
Yeah.
you take a sip of water. It's like first thing. Cervical mucus, so checking how our mucus changes throughout the month, as well as cervical position. So you're tracking these symptoms every day, and that gives you a window not only into where you are in your cycle and to what phase you are in your cycle, in your follicular phase, if you're ovulating, if you're bleeding, but also it's a window into really overall health. So my mentor, who I learned this from, Leesa and Genevieve, wrote the book, The Fifth Vital Sign, where she talks, if you've got gut health issues, that shows up in your cycle. If you have, high stress, that shows up in your cycle. So oftentimes that is like the first piece where we see it. If you're not tracking, you're just not aware of that. And I also think as people who menstruate, being able to know where you are in your cycle can really allow you to live more cyclically. I mean, anyone who has been like, let's have a party, it's my birthday, and then that's the first day of your period, and you're like, I don't want to be around 20 people. I don't want to
You can be more intentional when you're in more connection with that.
Yeah.
You can make decisions that fit your life and where you are. And, your creative projects, your, more reflective time, you can mirror that with your cycle when you know where you are in your cycle. Cool. So a lot of women find their way through a desire to conceive, which is how I found it, a desire to not conceive and to use it as like a hormone-free birth control, or women who are just like dealing with a lot of hormone health issues. Maybe they've gone to the doctor and the doctor says, take birth control. They're like, I took birth control and I went into a deep depression and I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Or the doctor says, hysterectomy is your only answer. And so a lot of times women will, hearing that being like, I wonder if there's another way. Like maybe I need to go that route, but maybe there's another way. And so then they find their way to FAM.
Cool. And you see clients kind of based in these practices as well?
I not presently.
Okay.
I'm preparing for the birth.
Yeah,
of my
I'm sure
child.
people are going to be like, when can I come talk to Julie? When can I make
But
an
yes,
appointment?
I do love client work.
Cool.
It's usually a long process because we are tracking cycles, and then we're, you get a chart, and then we are interpreting those charts and what are we seeing and what are
You're going to want months worth of
temperatures.
that data.
So
right?
it's multiple sessions, over the course of usually like 3 to 4 months.
That's like a good baseline.
That's a good baseline.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you really get a sense of how you track and what are those things that are coming up for you. And then, the idea is, and then that client takes that information and can just track for years themselves. It's a teaching time, and then they can take that and run with it.
Yeah. Now, does that, because I'm speaking on a personal level, does that include like women going into perimenopause, menopause? Like, does like what you're doing, can people come talk to you about that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're going to see, that's where you see your disruptions, right? In your cycles, you see a lengthening of cycles, a shortening, heavy bleeding. I mean,
right
it's
now
a whole, you see all of the iterations, right? It's just like abnormal. This is not my normal cycle. So, I mean, I would say a majority of the women I work with are more in the earlier phase of menstruating, but I think you can start to see those threads probably earlier. If you're tracking, you get to cue in a little bit earlier on those signs. And then the same kind of like hormone health things apply.
Yeah.
So addressing all of those underlying issues of, chronic stress, sleep deprivation, I find that a lot of women, I remember asking my mentor about this, and she was like, think about what phase a woman is in their, 40s-ish. When we start to see perimenopause. It's like they're very deep in their career. They're very deep in motherhood. It's like these women are like running companies. They're running the show. They're doing so much. And that is a part of
time for a shift.
It's a big time for a shift. And it's a big time for, like sleep deprivation and chronic stress. It's like there's a lot of weight. Like that's who's running this world, like women in their 40s. And so then it becomes like this reminder of like, okay, how can I care for myself? What can I do to bring this balance back into this picture?
That could not ring truer for myself right now. Like I'm 49 and I'm just starting to like, things are shifting for me. And I recently made myself a flower essence blend, which kind of helps on an energetic level. I'm sure we'll do like a podcast about flower essences. But I know that you've studied flower essences and you've done a course on that. Can you speak a little bit about flower essences and what I know it's like a huge subject. Again, we'll have another podcast on that. But can
even
you
like
speak on that
intro or something to that?
Oh, I love flower essences. So I didn't do the specific at CSEH. There was a flower essence practitioner program. I didn't do that program. But it was a part of our curriculum. And what I love about flower essences is you can just get so specific. I worked with a lot of flower essences during my pregnancy when I had these like very specific, my past pregnancy, when I had these very specific fears about what was going to go wrong in my pregnancy. And there is there's an essence for a specifically named fear, and there's an essence for just kind of like that general sense of fear.
Is that aspen, right? Like the fear of the unknown, right?
Mimulus too, I think.
Mimulus is that kind
Those
of
are the two that
I have this general sense of fear, but I can't pinpoint it. Aspen is like, I am afraid of losing this pregnancy. You can write it down, you can speak it.
Okay.
And so I love that you can get so specific about what you're experiencing, and then you add in, if you're formulating with essences, you can get even more specific. And then I also love just how safe they are. Like I worked with essences my whole pregnancy. There's no contraindications with medications. There's no contraindication. Like they're safe for kids. They're great for kids. They're great for elders. They're great for pets. Like we have a book on flower essences for pets. And so it feels just like a really safe way to engage with this medicine. And it's also, I find it can be really helpful in those times when, kind of referencing back, in wanting to help my partner, when you just don't know what to do. When it's like, I worked with a lot of essences after my father died. And it was just like, I was just in this like world of grief. And it's like, what, how do I do this? I get a lot of folks coming into the shop. My friend just got diagnosed with cancer. It's like, they're going through chemo.
Yeah.
It's like these huge life events, and you're just like grasping for like what can be supportive. And it's like, if you can take a moment and read some essence descriptions, you can usually get to some like really profound medicine that can be so helpful in this like very potent time of your life. And then as you move on to the next phase, maybe a different essence will call to you.
And it's like the idea of like moving through it, right? We don't want to stop the feelings. We want to feel the feelings, but also like move through that. Yeah. And maybe flower essences are a great way to like, if you guys don't have any herbal experience, you don't know what to do, like maybe a great place to start with some flower essences.
Super safe. You can take them internally. I'll put them in like hydrosols and like spritz them.
Topically, I think you can do too.
Yeah. And I also find that I've made formulas for myself and then I've just lost them and I just like can't find them. Even though I'm pretty meticulous about where my stuff is.
Oh no!
And it's like, oh, I'm done here. Yeah.
And then 3 months will go by, and then I'll find it, like in the drawer that I looked for, and I'm just that feels like I'm moving through that phase. Yeah. And I that essence blend was no longer what I needed, and I moved on to something else.
I had a flower essence just show up once, like like it was like on my counter. And I was like, where did this go? I've not seen this in years. And I was like, well, I guess
it's time to take it.
I guess I look back into this and So flower essences are cool.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Are you teaching any classes coming up? Well,
no.
Post. I'm sorry, that's maybe not the best question as you're preparing for birth. But, okay.
I love teaching. I have a running list on my computer of classes that I would like to teach.
Cool.
But nothing in the foreseeable future.
Awesome.
You like to do, the mocktails class. That's a really fun one.
Yeah. That's been a really fun one. I got into mocktails with my first pregnancy and just discovered that I didn't really need the booze. I just wanted like a fancy drink. So I got to experiment with like different herbal preparations and it just like absolutely was exactly satisfying in the way that I needed. Like hard day at work, I come home, make a mocktail with some nice nervines, some like digestive support. And it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So I've done a few different mocktail classes and made some herbal, like simple syrups, some shrubs, just like fun ways that you can incorporate herbs.
Like add in like soda water or something, I'm sure. Like, or even,
I would do like a shrub and then you like get a lime wedge and then you maybe do some tincture, some glycerin and...
Can we say what a shrub is real quick?
A shrub is usually fruit, or you could do like a fruit and a vegetable. Like I did a really good pear ginger shrub one time. So you start by like kind of soaking the fruit in sugar, so it really like pulls a lot of that juice, yummy, fruity, sweet juice out.
Your fermentation?
It's it's not, you're not fermenting like for weeks. This is like 24 hours.
Okay.
So like I'm sure a little bit of that is happening, but it's you can make a shrub in a day versus making like a wine or something will take months. And then you take that juice, you strain the fruit out. You take that juice and then you will add vinegar. I usually worked with apple cider vinegar, but you could, do some fun balsamics or,
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
And so it's like you get this sweet and this tart, I feel like it works really well in replacing alcohol because that flavor of the booze is replaced by this kind of complex of like fruity, that like bite of the vinegar, the sweetness, and then you can, you add some seltzer to that. You add some other things to that. And it just makes a really nice, flavorful beverage.
You should probably teach a shrubs class.
Yeah. Shrubs on its own would be fun. Yeah.
I don't know if we've offered that before. Oh my gosh.
So. That'd be awesome. I'd take
the class as well.
Yeah. I mean, you can add herbs in. People have done like vegetable shrubs.
Cool.
I saw a thing recently where a man made celery and he did celery soda and I was like,
wow,
that sounds weird and I really want to try that.
Totally. That sounds awesome.
Well, okay.
We've got a couple more minutes.
We do. Birth plan. Do you have any birth plan with herbs? Like, I know no one can plan for this huge event.
Yeah.
But,
herbs absolutely have played a big role in my pregnancy, in my fertility, in my pregnancy. There will be a huge part in my postpartum. I think, as in terms of that small window of like labor and delivery, I don't know if there's going to be any herbs that are going to come speak to me, or, you know, be called for.
Or essential oils. Essential oils during the
Yeah,
birthday?
yeah, I did, with my first birth. Yeah, I had all of the things set up, and then it just all went to the wayside. You know what I mean?
Things
Sometimes that
happen.
happens. Yeah. I did a lot of flower essences during my pregnancy, but also I formulated a number of essence blends specifically for my labor and delivery for all the fears that I had going into that. I mean, I think postpartum, I mean, I did a lot of sitz baths with my first kiddos. That was really helpful. And just tea, these same kind of like this pregnancy tea, those really like nutritive, nourishing, mineral rich, you know, to like bring those nutrients. Yeah. That was huge and just so nourishing. So that's absolutely gonna be a big part of my postpartum plan.
Yeah. Well, Julie, I think we're gonna have to have you back because, like, I feel like we could talk for
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
so long. You're so knowledgeable, and I just love like picking your brain. And you're truly an amazing individual. And we can't wait to meet this little nugget.
I know. I can't wait to. I can. I will.
I can and I will.
So
it'll be great.
yeah, we'll definitely have you back because there's clearly like we have a lot to talk about, and I know people would love to hear what you have to say. So thank you for watching. As always, you can email us at poppytalk@goldenpoppyherbs.com.
Put the words right here.
Oh yeah, nice. Jen and her editing. Yeah, and again, if you have any questions, if you have
Any Julie specific questions?
questions for Julie,
Golden
questions for Jen, questions for me, any topics you would like us to discuss. Yeah, what an awesome episode. Thank you so much, Julie, for coming.
And we'd love to talk about gardening in the future
Oh my
with
gosh.
you. We'd love to talk about working with kids. Like, we'll have
So
you
many
back
things. So
to cover
many
some more
things.
topics.
And as always, as the famous British playwright says, where there is tea, there is hope. So come in, chat with us, and we'd love to chat with you. And cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for watching and listening.
Also, I forgot. Sorry. I do that a lot. In our show notes, we will provide a coupon code for the pregnancy tea. It's a one-time coupon code, 20% off. We did not talk about the pregnancy belly rub, but I know that's something that you love to use too. So both of these products will be 20% off, and there will be a coupon code. And okay, I think that's it.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.